Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Alex.
Hello, good afternoon to you too, Richard. Hi.
Hi, how are you? All right.
I'm fine.
Good.
Ready for this new week. Unfortunately, the weather isn't that great here today.
No, same
Uh,
here. Yeah.
yeah,
So today you can't hear the bells so much. I'm sorry because
the
the
windows
wind
are closed.
the windows are closed, but maybe you can hear them faintly.
Right.
Um, Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our lunchtime webinar on a Monday. It's the start of a new week. A short week this week, of course. Just to remind you that the school is closed on Friday. Technically, the school is closed, I suppose. So there aren't any webinars on Friday. But from Monday to Thursday, it's business as usual. And today, as per usual, we are going to look at a business focus activity. And the focus activity we have chosen for you today is emails, and it's emails at an advanced level. And before we look at the lesson, or the activity, sorry, we'll just introduce ourselves for the people that don't know us and to say hi again, to remind everybody who we are to the people that do know us. Yeah.
Right, right.
So my name is Richard, and I'm originally from Wales, and I have lived in Milan for 5 years, and I work at the school in Meravili. As you know, Myes has 3 schools in Milan, and I work at the one in Meravili. I am a corporate teacher, which means that I mostly teach in companies, inside and outside of Milan. And in the companies, I teach business English and general English. And that's it. What about you, Alex?
Okay, so first of all, again, welcome to this new webinar on business English. My name is Alex, and I am also a corporate teacher as Richard, and I work in the same school of Milano Meravigli. Um, I am bilingual, so I'm half American, as you have probably spotted, and I am also Italian. My family on my mother's side is from the US, from Chicago, and I lived in the US for a couple of years during my studies. And what to say? My background, my personal background is in marketing. So I'm mostly focused on that type of business topics when I teach to companies and individuals like yourselves. I think I've said everything.
I haven't asked you. I hope I'm not being too personal, asking too many personal questions. So tell
No,
me if
you're
I am.
okay.
But I know we've spoken before that you lived in the US. But how long? I mean, was it were you brought up in America, or were you brought up in
Um,
Italy, or
I was brought up in Italy,
right?
but I used to go there every summer. My grandpa had a house, and we would stay over at his place. And one of my mother's sisters is actually a teacher. So with her and with schools, we would do summer schools basically. So we would go to school in summer while we were in the US. And then I also did I studied again for a summer program while I was in high school. So I went to an American university for a summer camp, and then I spent a whole year for my master's degree. So, adding all up, you can say that I've lived in the US for a couple of years.
Yeah, no. I see what you. No, no. Yeah, I agree. That's the sum of that. Yeah, perfectly. But I wasn't sure whether you actually lived there. You know what I mean? For like 3 or 4 years
Actually
in a
lived,
row or
no,
something.
no, for 1 year, 1 year and a half, let's say.
Was that in Chicago?
That was in Washington when I was studying for my master's degree.
Ah, okay. Washington, nice.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, is it nice?
I liked it. It's a governmental city, so it's not like there's much going on in the city itself, but there are some nice areas. There's Georgetown, which is a specific part of the city, which is more, shops and yeah, nice. It's a nice street, basically. It's
Yeah, I
the
mean,
area. It's the actually trivia. It's the area where they filmed the how do you call it? Oh my god! I was about to tell you.
House
The
of
movie.
Cards. No.
It's a movie with about the devil and the exorcist. There it is.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it.
There's a famous staircase that you
Hmm.
can see in The Exorcist, and that's where it comes from. So that's just a trivia.
Okay, I've never seen the movie.
Okay.
I think I'd probably be too frightened to watch the movie. No, Washington always like yeah. Say it's sort of to me. I always imagine it to be maybe quite a bit of a boring town. Maybe like Brussels or Canberra in Australia. It's a
It
very
can
yeah.
be so. Yeah, but there are actually so many great museums. There's the Smithsonian. There's the Museum of Journalism, which was quite new at the time when I was there. Um, I mean, it's there's so many key landmarks in the city that it's worth a visit.
No, I can
Of course.
imagine. I can imagine it's a great place to visit. Yeah, because I mean, I worked in politics, so to speak, for 15 years. So for me, it would be quite interesting anyway. But to live, um,
Yeah, it's like those cities like Gen-
Geneva, yeah,
Geneva, or yeah, they basically, it's like dead when walking at 5 p.m. I mean, you will find nobody on the streets because they're all offices
mm,
and they close and everybody disappears. But at the same time, there's actually a good alternative scene in Washington D.C., which I ignored. Mostly indie music. There are some bands, and so there are some interesting things there. Of course, it has nothing to do with neighboring cities such as New York or Philadelphia
mm.
or Baltimore or something. No, Baltimore is actually a little bit dangerous, but yeah, it's interesting. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty sure.
enjoyed it.
No, I'm pretty sure when you live somewhere, also it's different to what you have, what you envisage. I mean, like I say, I went to Brussels and I was only there like a day or 2 days, and I thought it was a really boring city. And yet a friend of mine, he worked for the European Union, so he was based in Brussels, and I saw him a couple of months later, and I said I'd been to Brussels. I don't know how you live there. You know what I mean? But he said, no, actually, it's a really cool city. He was telling me when you don't know it gives you that impression. But when you live there, he said, like you said, there is a lot of different scenes, and it's not, so it's again, we build a picture sometimes, we have an impression which is not completely accurate. So, okay,
Yes.
ah,
So,
let's
uh,
do.
yes. So, as you probably know, we're going to talk about advanced emails and about managing a crisis. So, because we have started off talking about things you think and maybe aren't that true. Have you ever experienced something like that? Just drop us a line and tell us, because we're curious.
Yeah, and
So,
also, guys, in general, just to remind you, please just drop us a line anyway, telling us who you are, where you are viewing from, and maybe what your job is or what you're studying, and also why you're studying English. Yeah, just as a general question to you all. Okay, so let's have a look at the first slide.
exactly. So in this business activity, we're going to look, okay, we're talking about emails, remember this. So we're going to see how we can structure an email for clarity. So to do so, we're actually going to be looking more carefully at the use of adverbs of degree and of adverbials. So adverbs of degree, as the word says, allow you to communicate the degree in which an action or an adjective happens. We will explain more clearly what we mean with describing the degree, the intensity of an action. So we'll give you some examples. And also we're going to look at adverbial phrases or adverbials. Basically, the function is the same. They are simply expressions that we can use as if they are adverbs. So they basically cover the same function as an adverb. They describe the intensity or the degree of an adjective or a following sentence.
Very good. Yeah, it's basically they are they're describing, they comment on the sentence. Yes, normally used at the beginning, but not always. So let's have a look at the second slide. And okay, here we have an expression, maybe which you might be familiar with or not familiar with, where we have a mountain of mail. This is describing the quantity of mail. So if it's a mountain of mail, do we think that's big or small, Alex?
I think if you have an idea of what a mountain is, it's definitely a
Yes.
lot of mail.
Yeah, it's
I
just an
think this is
expression.
a metaphor, maybe?
Yes.
It's a
Yeah, yeah.
metaphor?
Do you use it in America also?
I think so, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I would just say loads of email.
Yeah, no, excellent. Yeah, we would say loads also. Yeah, if you want to be a bit more,
More colloquial.
yeah, or dramatic, maybe.
Right.
I have a mountain of mail. Yeah. Okay. And okay, so that's a lot. We can have a look at the questions, and we are going to give you our comments or answers on the questions. So the questions are, I'll read them first. How much email do you receive daily, weekly, we say monthly? How well written are the emails you receive? What makes a good email? And do you find it difficult to get the idea when you read some email? Why or why not? So, Alex, first question: do you get a lot of mail? Daily, weekly? You know?
Um, I I get a reasonable amount of mail these days. I mean, it is an amount that varies from day to day, of course. A lot of it is junk mail, so it's mail that contains maybe promotional material or offers, whatever. And so I simply ignore them, which leaves, like I said, a reasonable amount of actual useful email which I can manage to read and to respond to in the arc of the day, so during the day. Um, that allows me not to have a lot of backload. So simply emails that I haven't responded to and that you need to look after. Um, Most of them are from actually my mom and My relatives, my mom loves to send me maybe interesting articles or recipes or things, and so so yeah, I look after what she's sending me and answer. Of course, I have work email. I'm not I'm not avoiding that. And how about you?
Not much, to be honest. I don't really get a lot of emails. Some days I don't get any emails because it's not something I really use that much. So I suppose if you don't use it so much itself, you don't encourage people to either send them, or if you're not sending stuff out, you're not going to get a reply, vice versa. So I don't get a lot of email. Uh, the only email I really get is work related. So as you know, with when we have to speak to our colleagues or speak to our bosses, sometimes we're doing it more frequently now by email. But in general, not not many at all, and I don't get also, luckily, a lot of junk email.
Mm-hmm.
So not too much, to be honest. I'm quite lucky like that. The emails you receive, Alex, are they well written?
Well, I'll actually answer with basically answer the next few questions because I think they're all related to one another. Um, well, most of the emails I receive are extremely short, so there isn't a great deal to read, and it's not difficult to understand the point of the email I receive. But in general, I can say that they're mostly well written. And to me, what makes an email understandable and, let's say, well written is basically if the ideas it expresses are consequential. So if there is a clear sequence of ideas expressed, if these ideas are also formatting helps. So if the way the email is written, maybe there are paragraphs, there are connectors, so words that allow you to sequence and link to one another the ideas in a rational, logical order. And if the grammar is correct, so if they are basically linguistically well written, um, I think that's what, to me, what makes an email good or not good.
Okay, no, you've answered that very well. I agree with you. Um, I'll answer all of them really in one. In one, sorry. I would say mostly that my emails that I receive are well written because I receive it from my colleagues, and they're more to do with business than personal anyway. So they're usually pretty well written. I agree with you, Alex. A good email normally, like we've spoken about in our previous webinars about emails. Yes, it's nice just to have an introduction, the main body, and the closing. We say short and concise and to the point. Yes?
Yeah, another thing they say is to write with a kiss. So you have to keep it short and simple. If you look at the acronym, it spells
Keep it
KISS.
short. Ah, right.
Keep it
Yeah,
short
okay.
and simple. So write with a kiss.
Never heard that. That's just nice. I'll remember that. Um, yeah, so basically, yes, like Alex said, keep it short and simple, and not to. And like we said, and like you said, Alex, when you remind us about connectors and sequencing, when we looked at sequencing words last week or the week before, these things make a good email, and also I think Alex and I agree on this. The format also.
Yes.
Yes. So when you look at it, it's easy to read. Yeah, not just the language, but the way it looks. Not just one big pile of text or something. You think, oh my gosh, yes, yeah. Okay,
I find that is something that a lot of people often overlook, maybe because they think it's secondary, but actually it can make a great difference in the way and also in the impression that you give. You are actually guiding the understanding of your reader. So I cannot insist too much on the importance of correct paragraphing, correct editing, formatting in general. It really shows that you care, first of all, and that you are correctly managing that type of text. So emails have their set of rules, essays have another set of rules, and so on, so on, so on.
okay, and I think that answers question 4 really.
Yeah.
All the things that are opposite to what you
To
said.
what we have
Yes,
said, yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Then it can be difficult to read an email. Okay, should we go to the next slide?
Sure.
Okay, so here we have case study, which we will look at briefly.
Yes.
We won't spend too much time on it, but it just helps us,
Set a context,
yeah, set a
basically.
context for the lesson. Okay, case study: Hopscotch Films. Hopscotch Films is a film production company based in Sydney, Australia. They're currently working on several major projects with partners in Europe. The management receives a lot of badly written emails internally and has devised a program to improve the writing skills of its workforce so that messages can be relayed more efficiently. How might Hopscotch approach this problem? Okay, before we answer the question, let's just check on some of the vocabulary. Um, to devise something is to come up with, to invent, yes. A program, yes, okay. Well, they thought of a program and invented a program. And it says messages can be relayed more efficiently. Okay. When you relay something, you receive and pass information. Okay, so how can this be done better and maybe in a clearer way? So how could they approach this problem? Um, I mean, I've seen this from my experience in some places where I've worked. They identify the problem. They want to improve this problem or solve this problem. So they might devise a course, maybe showing some examples of bad emails. Of course, not having the names and or maybe asking the people permission if they can show them. Yes, to say how not to do something. Yes, and then showing you how to do it, how to improve on it, or what is expected, or how to make things a bit clearer. As we spoke
Oops,
about,
sorry.
it's all right. Keep it on. It's all right. We maybe have a brainstorming session. Yes, asking people why they find things difficult. Yeah,
Yeah.
why they find things difficult to explain, and then maybe having some experts in the field to give you some help. Um, you got anything to add on that, Alice?
No, I
Or
was precisely thinking of workshops.
yeah,
These workshops can be, you can have face-to-face sessions, or like you were saying, brainstorming sessions, live brainstorming sessions. And then you may have maybe some like online tutoring, basically, maybe indications as to good practices, best practices um, that people can first of all mimic, so they can simply adapt, have a model to adapt, and then gradually be more independent in their production in order for the general structure to be basically to feel more confident on the structure. Like we have said in previous webinars, we insist often in reminding you of fixed forms that you can adopt in emails, because if you grow confident with maybe the greetings and the closings and the general paragraphs of the main body, then you can be more focused on expressing your ideas within the mail. It's as if you had already a cage or a structure, and you just have to put the pieces inside, but you know already where things go. So that takes away a lot of stress and worry from writing an email.
No, I agree with you. And a good word you used there, which we haven't used up to now, actually, is model. Yes, when you have a model. Yes, so even in for this case study, the company would say this is our model. It's like a template. Yes, and once you've been explained what the template is and how they want the template to look, then you can start adding your own things in. Yes, so maybe they would use this workshop or this course to say, look, this is our model, this is our template. So these are
Ideally,
the
the
things.
model could
Yeah,
come from maybe well-written emails that some of the
yeah,
co-workers have written, so that it's not like it's a top-down decision, but it's actually from the bottom up. So it's actually by common understanding, those are effective emails, so we can use them as models for everybody. That is certainly a decision that would bring more, would bring a lot of more of people together, because it's an agreed decision. It's not something that is just simply imposed by the management.
yeah, I agree.
Okay,
Okay, let's have
so
a look at an email.
yeah, let's look at this email.
Your
So
turn to read.
yes, we're going to first read it, and then we're going to highlight some of its features. So, dear Stacy, to begin with, I'm writing to inform you that the printer has once again broken down. It had been behaving extremely well this week, but Mark heard some fairly strange noises coming from the machine this morning, and now it has stopped working completely. What's more, we're utterly overworked with the film launch on Monday, and we scarcely have any time to look at the problem ourselves. We'd be profoundly grateful if you could come as soon as possible. On another note, the office's use of paper has gone up steeply of late. We'll have to find a solution to that, but that can wait for now. In summary, we need your help ASAP. Visit soon.
Okay, Sid.
Sid.
What is Sid? Do you have the name Sid in America?
Sid Vicious.
Ah, you have, yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, but he's British, or he was British.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was British, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to find the adverbs of degree and what is the function of the adverbs of degree. And as Alex said at the beginning, the function of the adverbs of degree is they modify the verb or the adjective or the adverb slightly to show the intensity.
Exactly.
Okay, and it's to strengthen or weaken that adjective, verb, or adverb. So it gives like a description, really. Yes. Okay. So let's have a look at
We
the.
can, yeah, we can go through one by one.
Mm-hmm. And okay. So the first one we have is fairly.
Don't, oh yeah, we have fairly, there it is. There's
Yeah.
extremely before.
Mm-hmm.
We have extremely well this week. then
Yeah.
fairly strange noises, then completely, and utterly,
Scarcely.
scarcely,
Yeah.
profoundly,
And
uh,
steeply.
steeply.
Okay. So the first one is extremely. A synonym of extremely, we could use especially well. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's something that, as the word suggests, is an extreme. So it's very much of something. Um,
More than usual. Yeah.
More than usual, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, some fairly strange noises. Uh, how?
Partially.
Yeah, partially. Yes. Reasonably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, Stop working completely. So that's 100%. Yeah. There's no question. Yes. Okay. He's totally stopped. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Totally, yeah, that's a good one.
Uh, Utterly.
It could be a synonym of completely, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. I would. To be honest, I think that's the only one I can really think. I think it sums it up very well. Yeah. It's utterly is completely overworked. Scarcely have time. So is that a lot?
Hardly.
Yeah, hardly or barely. So is it a lot of time?
No, it's the
No.
opposite.
Okay.
Almost zero.
Profoundly. I think Alex, you have a good synonym for that.
We could say deeply.
Very
You
good.
can actually
Yeah.
say that we would be deeply grateful if you could come as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. And the next one is steeply. Yes. So basically, I mean, it steeply here. If you look at the words before it, gone up, which is a phrasal verb, yes, okay, it gives you a clue that it's a movement, yes,
Yeah. Could it be
okay,
rapidly as well?
yes, exactly. So the movement is going to be suddenly, rapidly, like Alex said, yes, and then of course the movement could be up or down. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, it's
Gone
it's
up.
up. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Um.
So
Any?
these are all adverbs. As you can see, they have a similar structure. Basically, they all end in ly, which is something that allows us to recognize quite easily an adverb. And they're all singular words. They function in a way that they communicate the intensity, extreme, fair, or something, regarding the following word, which is often an adjective, another adverb, or a verb. Um, Next would come the adverbials instead. Oh no, here's a summary, sorry.
It's okay. What do we need to do? Complete the questions with the adverbs of degree. Direct your question to somebody in the class. Okay, somebody here. Okay, for this exercise, it'll be Alex and I. And on the left, we have the adverbs of degree. And what we need to do is we are going to choose an adverb to go in the sentence. Okay. And of course, there can be more than one example for each sentence.
Yes.
Yes, maybe two or three can fit in the sentence. So I'll have a look at the first sentence. Are the particular months where you have
I would add one that's not here.
go on then.
I would say hardly enough time. Simply
Yes.
because I wouldn't use scarcely. It's not quite spontaneous to me. So I find that are there particular months when you have hardly enough time? Hardly is such a more common way to express that same concept.
I mean, you could put considerably, yes.
Right.
Although in particular months we have considerably enough time. But I mean, it does sound very formal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would most probably say, in normal speech, you would most probably say a lot of time, yes. But you
Yeah.
could say considerably, yes. Okay, should we number two? What are your ideas for number two?
Is there a film that you found particularly moving? I would say
Hmm.
something that is special.
Yeah, I would use there maybe also extremely moving. So
Yeah.
it was maybe very very sad or very funny. Well, very sad, of course, it's going to be moving, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Emotional.
Mm, okay.
Can
Uh,
you
go on.
think of a film that contains nothing but violence, that contains practically nothing but
Yeah,
violence?
I thought of the same one there. I think for that one, um,
I think it's the
prac-
only option.
yeah, practically for me, I think is was probably the best option. Okay. Is there a film location that you are uh, particularly fond
Con-
of?
Considerably.
Considerably fond of? Yes. Okay. Next one.
In your opinion, which types of film are, I would say, increasingly becoming more popular?
Mm-hmm. Or you could maybe say gradually becoming more popular,
Mm-hmm. Right.
depending. Yes. Um, I'm thinking in particular about a lot of the foreign language films now
Right.
that are
The use of subtitles, for
yeah
example.
gradually becoming more. I mean, if you look at the Oscars this year when Parasite won, yes,
Right.
okay.
Have
I
you
mean,
seen that movie?
no,
I
my
thought
did you like it?
it's so yeah, it's good. It's good.
I have it. My wife watched it
I
the
found it
last
really good.
the last time she went on a business trip. She watched it on the train and she said it's very good. So yes, I have it on my computer, so I need to watch it. I just finding the time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, okay. Would you say that the cost of film production is rising steeply? Is
Yeah.
rising considerably?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, which means it's going up a lot. Okay,
What about a film with fairly minimal sets?
very good. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, fairly minimal. And minimal, does it mean a lot or a little?
A little, I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah. Or minimal in the sense that also they have little amount of things inside, I guess.
Well, very. It could be either, couldn't it?
Right. Minimal
Yeah.
in like in a sense of style.
Yeah. Well, it could be minimal that there aren't that many sets, or like you said, within the set itself, there aren't many objects. So no,
Basic.
it could be both. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be both. Okay,
Okay.
so let's move on now to another email. And in this email, we're instead going to focus mostly on the adverbials. First of all, Richard, would you like to read this one?
Yeah.
It's the same
It's the
email,
same one.
actually. Sorry,
Yes.
right.
Sorry, it is. Yes.
It is. So we're just going to focus on the adverbials directly. So um, find the sentence adverbials.
Okay.
And ask yourself, what is the function of the sentence adverbials?
Okay. Well, what we said was the adverbial phrases, yes, comment on the sentence, yes. So we're going to say what the sentence is actually describing. So if we start a sentence with basically, it shows that what we're about to say is basic, is in its basic form, yes. And if we start a sentence like we have in this example with what's more, it shows that you are going to add something. Okay, so the first one, Alex, if you want to show us, is to begin with. Yes. So this phrase is actually saying that I am beginning the email. Yes, and as yes, why the email is being written. Yes, and it comes at the beginning. Yes. The next one
What's
is
more?
what's more is where we said, or you
We're
could say,
adding,
yes, yeah,
we're
additionally,
adding, yeah.
yeah. What's more, we are overworked, yeah, so something else. On
Then
another,
yeah.
good.
On another note, so by saying on another note, I'm actually adding a new set of information that is not so directly related to what I had previously said. It kind of changes the topic.
Hmm. Okay. One thing, Alex, I was just going to remind the guys about was in the first sentence, we have a phrasal verb. Uh, saying that the printer has broken down. Okay, so this is a phrasal verb for basically saying it's not working. Yes, it's not functioning. So we can also use the phrasal verb there, broken down. We use it a lot with
Yeah,
cars.
phrasal verbs are extremely common in everyday speaking, for
Yeah,
cars, for technical things.
yeah, machines, cars. Yeah, it's broken down. Yes, you could say my washing machine is broken down.
Yeah.
My fridge is broken down. Yeah, my car. Okay.
We have just one more left. In summary, so in summary, as it suggests, sums up, it means you're drawing a conclusion or you're reminding, you're basically, yeah, summing up what you have said previously. The main message is we need your help
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah. To put it in a nutshell, as we say, yes,
Yes,
get to the point. Yes, it just summarizes from all everything that's come before it. This is this is the main uh, this is the main reason for the email. We need your help. Okay,
right.
so
Okay, so shall we look at the adverbials? You can see them on the right. These are a lot of commonly used adverbials. Some of them were in the email we have just seen. There are some others as well. So I'm just going to read through them once. As a result of, to begin with, consequently, in summary, what's more, on the other hand, for instance, furthermore, in other words, and accordingly.
perfect. So we will finish on this slide. Just just to have a look, we need to match the adverbial phrases to the correct function. We have the functions there, which is to sequence chronologically, to express a cause, to show a result, to provide an additional point, to introduce a contrary point, and to provide an example. Okay, so the first one, Alex, as a result of.
So, as a result of, the word result in this adverbial kind of hints towards the answer. The result is uh, basically when I'm doing a maths operation is the final number. So it may be the resultant of addition, a subtraction, or so on. It's the final number that I consider. So as a result of allows us to show the result of something that I've previously explained or introduced.
Perfect. So it's going to be number
three.
3. Perfect. Okay. To begin with, again, the word in the adverbial gives us a bit of a help when we look at emails having a beginning, middle, and end. Okay, it's a sequence, and we sequence things in order. So this would be number 1, to sequence chronologically.
Exactly. Next comes consequently. This is an adverb actually, and it contains the word consequence. So a consequence is the result, can be a synonym, is a result of something else. So something that follows in terms of time, or in terms of cause and effect. In this sense, we can consider it as well as the first one as a number 3 to show a result.
Okay, you and I are getting the same ones at the moment.
Yes.
Okay, in summary, again, it's something that normally we always put at the end of an email. So, as we said, an email will have a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is a chronological order. So, in summary, we summarize, we put into one sentence what we've talked about previously in the email. So, of course, this comes at the end. So, again, it's what we sequence. So, to sequence chronologically.
Okay. This we have already encountered in the email. So what's more allows us to provide an additional point.
Okay. On the other hand, excuse me, sorry. On the other hand, which is quite a nice expression we use in English. Okay. So we would say something like, "Oh, Milan is a very nice city. On the other hand, it's expensive."
Exactly.
So what are we showing there? We are showing two different ideas which are different. It's all right, which are different to each other. So this is a contrast. So it would be 5 to introduce a contrary point.
Mm-hmm. For instance, I also like this expression very much. A synonym would be, for example. So if we say, for instance, we're actually providing an example, a sample of what we are trying to express. So it would be number 6.
Perfect. Okay. Furthermore, so we talk about something, and then furthermore, okay, very similar to what's more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Furthermore, you go a step ahead and you add in something. Yes. So it's number 4 to provide an additional point.
Exactly. In other words, I'm trying to express a concept that I have already introduced by using different words. So by maybe using a synonym or trying to rephrase the concept in a different manner, hoping to be more clear and understandable. So in this sense, it would be to provide an example.
Okay. And the last one, accordingly. Okay. So when you use accordingly, which is an adverb, okay, adverb of degree, yeah, it shows that we have looked at some information and from that information, we are going to follow an action. Okay, so when we are referring to it, yes, we have looked at this. And now we have decided that it shows the result of what has been decided before. So as a result of, so accordingly, yes, we are going to blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Okay.
we have come to another end of this sequence of business webinars that you can follow, and we have focused mainly on adverbials and adverbs of degree. As you have seen, sentence adverbials convey the degree in which they convey, let's say, the meaning. They give some information regarding what follows or is before the adverbial, whereas adverbs of degree allow us to communicate the intensity of adjectives, adverbs, or verbs. Would you like to add anything else?
No, not really. Like you said, the adverbial phrases comment on the sentence, what we're going to describe in the sentence. I think your description is great. The adverbs of degree shows us the intensity of something, whether it strengthens or weakens the adjective or the verb. We also looked at some emails, and I think in the emails we just reviewed on some good points and bad points about how to write emails, what to include in emails, the format of emails. So we hope that this webinar has been useful to you guys. Just to remind you that there will be a business webinar with Alex and I at 12 each day. So in the meantime, we hope you have a very nice day, and we hope
We're
to see you
looking
soon.
forward, yeah, to seeing you again. Bye,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.